Godot. I am your meteorologist and welcome to today's video as I'm back now with you guys, and we're going to have a video this afternoon. So we have a weather forecast to talk about. We're looking at a nice day out there across the upper Midwest. I can see outdoors here, a beautiful day here in Minnesota in the Twin Cities. But we're going to be talking about the weekend's weather and the weather for the remainder of the work week, as well as the tropics. We're going to cover the tropics and as well as the southwestern monsoon. We're going to take a quick look at all of that. So let's jump into our first map and talk about what we're going to be seeing out there. And we're going to be looking at a lot of rainfall here across the southern and the southeastern United States into the weekend. And we're going to be seeing those that heavy rain where we can see some areas pick up in excess of 15 inches of rain through this weekend. So a lot of heavy rain across the southeast. We're going to see one area here over the mid-Atlantic across parts of North Carolina and northeastern South Carolina, where we're going to see a lot of excessive rainfall and more excessive rainfall here over eastern Texas and into southern Louisiana, as well as one area where we're going to be looking for excessive amounts of rainfall, where we could see in excess of 8 inches of rain just to the east of Houston here, near Baton Rouge, up to Lafayette, Louisiana, as well as Shreveport and into southern Arkansas. This region here, we're going to be looking for a minimum of 8 inches of rain. So some isolated spots can see as much as 15 inches of rain. So lots of heavy rain across the southeastern United States, as the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic is wide open. Conditions are perfect to pump that tropical moisture into the southeast, as well as a frontal boundary over the southeastern United States. So we're going to be seeing lots of that heavy rain, and that's going to be in place through the weekend here. And here is a look at what we're going to be seeing this weekend as your pattern here. So we have a very wet stretch across the southeast. So we have tropical moisture coming in off of the Atlantic, and we have a pool of tropical moisture here over the Gulf of Mexico, and that's going to provide moisture for heavy rain across most of the southeastern U.S. from Florida all the way to Texas, Arkansas, up into the mid-Atlantic states and into the Carolinas and through portions of the southern Appalachians. So we're going to see lots of heavy rain and thunderstorms. So it's going to be several rounds of drenching downpours here, the heavy rain and some thunderstorms in place as well. And we're going to be seeing the heavy rain continue. So we're going to be seeing showers and thunderstorms across the southeastern United States for your Friday. So East Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana. So we're going to be seeing lots of heavy rain across the south for your Friday as well. So, and we're going to be seeing it hot across the plains, the southern plains. So it's going to be very hot across North Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas. So we're going to be seeing that hot weather. And then across the tropics, things are not very favorable right now across the tropics, as we're getting close to August. And August starts the Cape Verde season. And we start to look at this region here off the coast of West Africa, maybe off of Sierra Leone here and Gabon and the West Africa. We're going to start to look for tropical waves to begin coming off the coast. So we're going to look for the Cape Verde part of the season. But right now we're going to see those tropical waves coming off of Africa. But we have a lot of dust in the air and haze from smoke and not smoke, but just the dry, dusty conditions over the Sahara Desert. So dust from the Sahara has blown out over the Atlantic. So that's kind of putting a lid and a damper on tropical development, and we're going to be seeing that through the early first couple of weeks of August, as well as we're going to have lots of dust from the Sahara, and that's going to help to limit tropical development. And we're going to be seeing conditions also less favorable because of these systems here, high pressure, the Bermuda High, and then we also have continental influences, and those continental influences have created a lot of wind shear. So we got dry, dusty air coming from Africa, moving across the Atlantic, and we have conditions where we're seeing a lot of systems coming off of the U.S. mainland, and these systems are mid-latitude systems, and they are also producing a lot of wind shear, which is encountering the tropical waves, and that is preventing tropical development because of the wind shear coming from the west. Again, here we are. We got dry, and we got a lot of dry air, and that's coming off of the African coast. Lots of dry air, and that is preventing tropical organization. So that's preventing. So this is what we're going to be seeing as we head into early next week. Dry air coming off the coast of Africa, dust in the the mid levels of the atmosphere that is preventing organization. A little bit better conditions will become possible as we head towards the latter half of the week here over the western portions of the Atlantic and the southern Caribbean. We might see improving conditions that might make it a little bit more favorable for some tropical development over this region, but for the most part, we have this dusty, dry air to contend with, which is prohibiting tropical development at this time. So not a whole lot to get excited about at this moment. But as far as the weekend is concerned, we are looking at a little bit of troughing across the northwest and the ridge over the Great Lakes. So that's going to be making it for a rather warm weekend here across the upper Midwest and into the Great Lakes. But we're going to see the heavy rain down across the south this weekend. That's going to make for a very wet weekend across the south and the southeast. But mostly dry conditions in the northeast and very warm in the Great Lakes. But we're looking at hot weather coming out of the southern and central plains, and that's going to make its way to parts of the upper Mississippi River Valley and the Great Lakes. So we're going to be seeing some of that warmth transferring to the east northeast here. So very nice and warm weekend on the way. Very nice conditions in the Pacific Northwest as well, as we're not looking at any broad scale weather systems coming onshore. And with that being said, we have high pressure over the Rockies, and that high pressure is helping to promote the monsoon conditions over the desert Southwest. So we will see daily afternoon thunderstorms here across the desert Southwest. So Arizona into Phoenix, maybe parts of New Mexico, all the way up into Nevada and Utah. We're going to be seeing some of that monsoonal moisture. So those widely scattered and isolated thunderstorms across the desert Southwest, gully washers as well. So we're going to be seeing some of these isolated storms around the Rim Country, the Mogollon Rim, and the Four Corners area. We're going to be seeing that subtropical moisture and very warm temperatures, and so we're going to be seeing those desert thunderstorms and in the mountains and its deserts here near Phoenix, Tucson, up to Show Low, Pine Top, Arizona, and maybe over into Albuquerque as well. We're going to be looking for those afternoon thunderstorms. Very hit and miss, widely scattered to isolated. And then we're going to also see that pattern change next week, where we're going to see some slight troughing in the east, and that's going to lead to a wetter pattern across the Great Lakes and the upper Midwest and the plains and parts of the Appalachian Mountain area and the Ohio Valley. We're going to be seeing some wetter conditions next week, and we can see numerous rounds of thunderstorms, and some of those storms can be derecho, so we can see some derecho develop as well. So we're going to see multiple rounds of severe weather across the upper Midwest. So the Dakotas, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, parts of Michigan have the risk for seeing those derecho. So we're going to be seeing widespread, long-lived windstorms associated with fast-moving showers and thunderstorms. And those typically are straight-line winds. However, as a derecho event last week in Illinois and Indiana produced 156 tornadoes, mostly weak tornadoes, but it did produce 156 tornadoes. Typically, there are straight line winds, but tornadoes typically are sometimes possible on the edges or the ends, the northern or southern tips of the derecho. So we're going to see continuous winds of at least 60 miles per hour for at least a 400-mile width or at least 60 miles. So a nice long linear stretch of severe thunderstorms rolling across the plains. They can be as wide as 400 miles. And that is your weather forecast for today. My name is Mr. G. I may not have a video tomorrow, but we'll have a video for you guys on Saturday. Tomorrow I have to work, and then in the afternoon we have errands to run, so we'll see you guys on Saturday morning or in the midday or so. I'll produce a video for you guys. But until then, have a great day and a great evening tonight. Be safe out there, and be dry if you're try to stay dry across the southeast and in the desert southwest. Watch out for those thunderstorms that could produce some fires because of lightning strikes. So have a great day, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye.